Willows present a number of problems to waterways throughout New Zealand. They mostly grow along the bank margins of our rivers. They're pretty prolific. They can spread really easily through flood events. They quite quickly drown out all the native vegetation that a lot of our native species rely on. Willows create a hard bank on the river. The roots go deep under the ground. They provide an obstruction to floodwater. So one of the things I'm concerned about up here primarily with willows is the effect they have on channelizing the river. The scroll plain's got a particular ecosystem. It's a really flat landscape where the river breaches the banks during floods and spreads out wide and fills all the isolated wetlands. And what willows are doing is creating a hard bank, and every time there's a flood, the river can dig deeper into the bed, and it will start to channelize over time. The consequences of that in the long term could be that the scroll plain begins to behave more like a river and less like a scroll plain. The scroll plain up here is really important for a number of threatened species of plants, fish, insects, invertebrates, and we need to be able to maintain that functioning of the river behaving as a scroll plain to maintain those threatened populations of biodiversity. One of the ways that cracked willow establish is by dropping branches on the ground and having those branches either, like this one, either transported downstream through a flood or just directly into the mud, rooting and germinating and turning into or propagating into a new adult tree. Here's a little branch here that's either come off the trees above us or come down through a flood. It's arrived in this location, and if we pull it out, you'll see that it's started to root. The scale that the willows pose is huge. Almost every metre of bankage along the river and the tributaries are infested with willows. We've been working with the community and the Te Aki Maniatoto project to eradicate willows from the upper sticks, so the headwaters of the river where we first start to see willows growing. That area is almost willow free, but pretty much the other 80% of the river is mostly bounded by willow. They're really difficult to control. If you just come in and chop down an adult tree and create a whole bunch of mess under the tree, it's likely that they'll all turn into trees over time. One thing we do is we use chemical spraying to poison the trees and kill them before they're removed through a chainsaw or a digger or something. That way we can kill all the potential leaf litter that could germinate into new trees. Because these trees are mostly germinating through sticks and debris moving downstream, the best thing to do is to start from the headwaters. So you can start removing those willows high up in the catchment, and over time you start reducing that load of debris coming downstream and causing more willows to grow. So it's a big problem. It's going to take many years, decades to kind of get on top of, but small steps can start generating big change.